Welcome back, everyone, to Planescape Torment. You're here with Rain Lefevre, otherwise known as DraxxKraven. When I think we can talk to the Mercy Killers over there. Apparently, they're looking for someone, and then there's Dak'kon. Apparently, he's been eyeballing us, but hey, it's something to just do. The man before you is old. His dry yellow skin has the scars of one who has traveled everywhere and never rested long in any one place. His pinched face is inhumanly angular, and his ears sweep out from his skull, tapering to points. He wears a loose-fitting orange tunic, and a strange shimmering blade is strapped across his back. The blade looks to be a two-pronged glaive made of some metal whose surface swirls like a film of oil on a pond. Greetings. The man turns to you, his eyes like polished coal. He stares through you, and for a moment you wonder if he might be blind. The weapon suddenly turns a dead flat black, mirroring the man's eyes. Are you all right?
Hail, traveler.
He says nothing for a moment, merely searches your face with his eyes. His voice is quaint and somber, like a wind whispering through the branches of a great tree. Hail.
Your eyes are the weight of one who has traveled far to be in this place.
The man meets your gaze, his eyes burrowing into yours. His weapon drains of its black color, resuming its shimmering you noticed before you spoke to it. You could say that. The man's gaze does not waver from you. I am known as Dak'kon. The emphasis he placed on the word known strikes you as odd, yet familiar at the same time. You are not known to me. I do not know myself. That is for the best. In knowing yourself, there would be little in the plains left worth knowing. He falls silent for a moment, still studying you with his coal black eyes. I would know why you have come to this city. I'm looking for answers. I have many questions. Speak your questions. I will hear you. Your features are unfamiliar to me. What are you? A Githzerai. Excuse me? A Githzerai is one of the people. The people. A Githzerai. Yes, but what are the Githzerai exactly? Dak'kon is silent for a moment and speaks. Our history does not need to be made known to you. We would bleed to death on Time's blade before I recited a fraction of the histories of our people. I don't need to know your histories, but I would know of your people as they are now. Dak'kon is silent for a moment. Know this and accept it as an answer. We are the people who make our home upon the shifting plane of limbo. With a deft motion, Dak'kon slips the blade from his back and holds it before him. Wait, see what happens. There we mold the matter of limbo with our minds. We forge cities with our thoughts. As you watch, a series of rippling waves of metal begins to roll forth from the center of the blade. The pitch and the crest in the waves match the inflections in Dak'kon's voice. In its chaos we dwell, with only our knowing to preserve us. We are Githzerai. What is that blade you have? It moved, shifted in response to your voice. It is a Karak blade. It is an object that lets others know the rank of the wielder. Karak, what does that mean? In your tongue, the closest translation is chaos matter. The people may shape it with their thoughts. Shape it with their thoughts? Karak is not shaped by heat, but by knowing oneself. It is a mirror that reflects the will of the wielder on its surface and its edge. When one knows themselves, the blade is strong, harder, stronger than steel. When one does not know themselves, the blade is as water, formless and weak. What rank does your blade signify? The blade is a symbol carried by the Zerth. A Zerth is one who knows the words of Zerthamon. In knowing the words of Zerthamon, they know themselves. Zerthamon? Zerthamon founded our race. He knew the Githzerai before they knew themselves. He defined our people. He gave them one mind. I had other questions. What can you tell me about the city? It is known by the name Sigil. Among the people, it is known as the city that does not know itself. It doesn't know itself? What does that mean? The city exists, but it does not know itself. In not knowing itself, its existence is flawed. How is it flawed? The city exists in opposition to itself. It has set itself apart from the planes, yet it seeks to be everywhere at once. Its walls are doors, yet it keeps those doors locked. Such an existence tells of a thing that does not know itself. In not knowing itself, it is flawed. What if the city is not flawed? A thing does not need to be ordered to have a purpose to know itself. What if these contradictions are strengths that you cannot see? What if the city is not flawed, and you just do not know the reasons for its contradictions? There is an order in everything. Perhaps there is an underlying pattern that you cannot perceive. I like the first one. What if these contradictions are strength that you cannot see? To your question, a question. What if the city is flawed, and you see its contradictions all around you? To your question, a question. You claim the city's existence is flawed. You have accepted this rather than explore the possibility that something greater may exist. That suggests you are flawed, and that you do not search for knowledge, but only for a convenient answer. Dak'kon falls silent. There is no knowing the answer to the questions we have asked. Yet the city exists. That is all. Yet I would maintain that we know ourselves by the questions we ask, and the ones we do not, if we cease asking questions and accept only what we can perceive. Then we will cease to know ourselves. Dak'kon's voice has changed slightly, become heavier. Such words have been spoken before. I have heard them, and know them. Where did you hear them? The words are mine. Once I knew them, and knew their meaning. I had forgotten them until you spoke. Dak'kon's gaze travels through you, and his blade stops shimmering, bleeding of all color until it is translucent. There is a moment of silence, and then Dak'kon looks up at you. I would travel your path with you. I'll consider it. I had some other questions first. You place special emphasis on knowing. What do you mean? All things, whether structure or flesh, their existence is defined by their knowing of themselves. And if a man does not know himself, when a mind does not know itself, it is flawed. When a mind is flawed, the man is flawed. When a man is flawed, that's what he touches is flawed. It is said that what a flawed man sees, his hands make broken. Do you know yourself? Dak'kon falls silent. His coal-black eyes take on the same distance that you noticed when you first spoke. I'll ask again. Do you know yourself? When Dak'kon speaks again, his voice has changed. His words echo like a great stone dropped into a chasm. It looks like he is forcing the words from his chest. It is not my will that you know this. Perhaps I was being too kind in phrasing as a question. Tell me. The words come out of Dak'kon slowly, as if they are being carried one by one. It has come to pass that I do not know myself. Why? I do not know why. I know it has happened, and I know not the how nor the when, nor how to know myself once more. Never mind. I have more questions. Ooh. Do you know of a man named Farod? That one is not known to me. I've lost a journal. Do you know where it might be? The location of such a thing is not known to me. There's nothing left to be said. Come with me. You're old. Of what use could you be to me? It looks as if he's looking past you, just as he did when you first spoke to him. I am old, yet I have traveled far. The arts of war are known to me. The tides of this city are known to me. Nevertheless, where you stab in the dark, my blade strikes true. Doors locked to your hand are corridors to mine. In knowing these things through me, you will become strong. I would walk with you. Very well.
Your path is mine.
Very well. Let's go.
I feel stronger.
I made a friend. Sort of. The Whispering Flask. Invokes Aid. Special +2 strength. Usable only by Githzerai. This container holds a peculiar powder called Whispering Motes. Loose translation of the Gith expression, a form of healing powder commonly used by Githzerai in the plane of limbo. When the stopper is pulled and the spice touched on the skin of a wounded person, the spice travels through the injured person's body, generating raw matter to fill up the holes in his physical form, no matter how small or large. In order for the spice to work, the user must concentrate on its healing effects. With the proper discipline, a practiced Githzerai can even heal the greatest of wounds. In addition to its curative properties, it is also the element in several of their rites of passage. It is believed that the spice also fills in the holes in a person's psyche, removing doubts and giving them focus and purpose. Dak'kon's Zerth Armor. Dak'kon's ceremonial Zerth armor. It is fashioned of interlocking metal rings, formed of the same substance that Dak'kon's blade is made of. Unlike the blade, however, it does not appear that the armor changes based on the mental state of the wielder. The armor is worn over a padded red tunic, and spiked bracers and shoulder pads have been added to give greater protection to the arms and upper body. While Dak'kon's armor is similar to chainmail, it is lighter and more flexible, allowing him to wield his sword more effectively. Furthermore, it seems that when the sword and armor are used in tandem, the armor becomes even more fluid. Whether this is a unique property of Karak, or whether this is some magical effect of the two items, it is not known. And his Zerth Blade. 2 to 9 slashing damage, +1 to armor class, +1 to Dak'ko, speed 7, weight 5, edged. Usable only by Dak'kon. Interesting. He's a fighter and a mage. Oh fuck. Back to dual classing. 3 levels of each. He's lawful neutral. Isn't he from Limbo? He's pretty strong. Kind of smart. All of his stats are really good. That being said, his intelligence is a little low for a spellcaster. You know. I'm guessing he has spells? Interesting. His spells are different. Power of 1, 30 minutes per level, touch. This spell increases the target's strength score by a certain number of points or tenths of points above 18, which will still be qualified by race class restrictions. The spell cannot bestow a strength of 21 or greater. The bonus is as follows. Oh, so it's 1d something, +1 for warriors. Greatest for warriors, and then rogues and priests, and then wizards get it at the worst. Interesting. I wonder if it counts whichever class would give the greatest modifier or whichever class would give the least. Reign of Anger. So it's a magic missile. Stronger than a regular magic missile, but still just magic missile. Submerge the Will. When the will is submerged, new strength is gained, the strength to endure and protect against adversity. With knowing the teachings of the third circle of Zerthamon comes greater protection against all forms of attack. A magical orb of protective energy arises and protects the recipient from attacks from all directions. It bestows an AC 2 against all attacks and a +1 to all saving throws for 12 seconds per level of caster. So it doesn't last very long, but it could be cool. Scripture of Steel. Duration 30 seconds, 70-foot radius. One of the earliest teachings of Zerthamon, this incantation reflects what knowing that flesh yields to steel achieves, bestowing a greater advantage to strike and the strength to resist damage. +1 to hit, +1 on saving throws to all creatures that are friendly. And Vilquar's Eye. Vilquar's Eye is branded upon the one who is foolish enough to cross the caster. Vilquar's short-sightedness becomes the target's vision, and soon the world is muddled and dark. If the targeted creature fails its saving throw at -1 penalty, the creature will be struck with blindness and suffer a -4 penalty to its attack, and a +4 penalty to its AC. Let's level up real quick. Pachoo! What if I was smarter? What if I got even more XP? Ooh. And what is the Unbroken Circle of Zerthamon? This small round stone is the Unbroken Circle of Zerthamon. The Unbroken Circle is a Zerth religious text containing teachings of Zerthamon, the founder of the Githzerai people. The circle is made up of a series of interlocking circles that fold out from one another, depending on which branch the reader wishes to follow in the path of the teachings. It is said that some Zerths spend years poring over the combinations of the plates, looking for new significance in its teachings. Dak'kon seems to use the text as a means of focusing his spellcasting abilities, for he pores over the tablet occasionally, memorizing the words. So it's like a spell book, but also a religious text, but better than a spell book. Okay.
Done.
Heard you guys are looking for someone? An armored behemoth, this man is huge. He also seems to have a very keen eye. It misses nothing that transpires around him. It also seems that he has no interest in speaking to you. Hello? Farewell. I'll find my answers someplace else then. Huh. I thought they were looking for someone. I guess not. You see someone dressed as a female dust man with a half-empty glass in her right hand. As you near her, she calls out to you, you, over here! You notice that there's something wrong about her, and your exposure to the dust man leads you to believe that she's just too lively to be a real member of the faction. Approach her. Hey, Cutter. Buy a lady a drink? You're not a real dust man, are you? What? Why do you say that? You don't act like a dusty, and you're not offering contracts. In fact, you're taking money instead of giving it out for that corpse labor they do at the mortuary. She stifles a squeak of terror. No. I'm not a dust man. I just found these robes in the street, and I don't have enough money to get good clothes, and I heard that there was a dust man thief around, but you could probably find him somewhere else in the southwest part of the hive. I saw him, but I hid from him. Please don't hurt me. I'm not planning on it. You ought to know that you're not pulling it off too well. Now answer some questions. Who are you? Me? I'm Mokai. I just like to drink here, and just a person, you know? What is this place? Smoldering Corpse Tavern? Can't you read? You more bubbed than I am? Forget it. Who's the burning corpse? He's not a corpse. He's some crazy wizard. Ask around, they'll tell you the story. Barca says it's time for you to settle your tab. Pay up. What are you gonna do? Ask you to go pay up now. I can't afford it. Can you swap me just 10%? I'll give it to him and he knows I'll pay the rest. How much do you need? I need about 100 coins to get started on that debt. Debt. I'd lend you the money, but I don't have it. Nothing. Farewell. Well, can I talk to the burning corpse? This crackling, billowing creature twists slowly above an iron grill upon the floor of the bar. It may have been human once, but now its skin is charred beyond recognition. Streams of fire form a wreath around the creature's body, and the flames lick at a few remaining pockets of flesh, causing them to bubble and run like wax down the creature's skeletal frame. Greetings? The thing makes no response. It writhes slowly within the flames. It lives, but it does not seem aware of anything other than the fire that surrounds it. Its skin is flame, its heart is flame, and you know, within some shadowed corner of your memory, that this thing is dangerous. Examine the creature. The heat surrounding this creature is incredible. To your surprise, the iron grill the creature floats above has sagged and bent from the heat. At first, you thought the heat came from the grill, but now you realize it emanates from the creature. As you watch, flecks of ash drift from the writhing corpse and float slowly to the ceiling. I'm gonna leave this thing alone. Dear Lord. What the fuck? What the fuck, Planescape? Okay. Find the source of Pharaoh's bodies for Emmerich. Crystal wants Rotten William dead. Help Sev Tai get revenge. I just need to find the starved dogs barking and kill them. Find a tombstone for the Crier of Essanon. I know where to find that. Find July for Craddock. Resolve a bar tab. Remove Reekwind's Curse of Stench. Find Craddock for Baron the Sender. Okay, so I've done some of these already. And I have 42 coins, so I'm not off to a bad start settling debts. Barking Wilder. Fell's Tattoo Parlor. Hell yeah. Let's just stop in. Oh. Does this Dabus walk?
Done.
Ooh. You see a Dabus, but something about it strikes you as odd. It has the same shock of white hair, the same greenish cast to its skin, the same pair of goat horns, and then you suddenly realize that this one's walking on the ground, not floating. For some reason, that makes you uneasy. I had some questions for you. The Dabus waits. Who are you? As you're about to ask, you suddenly realize you already know the Dabus' name. His name is Fel. As if in response, the Dabus inclines his head slightly, and a lone symbol appears above its head. It's blurry at first. then resolves into a white oval with a black lightning bolt through it. I feel like I know you, Fel. Fel bows reverently, and a stream of symbols swirls about his head, rotating clockwise, then counterclockwise. It takes you a moment to translate. This is the first time, and not the first time, you have come to this place. Do you know who I am? Another series of symbols materializes quickly and sharply into a focus above Fel's head. The translation comes to you just as quickly and sharply as the symbols themselves, and as if you have translated the exact same string many times before. Yes, but I'm not permitted to tell you this story. Why
Updated
not?
my journal.
For a moment, there is no response from Fel, then a stream of rebuses appear, as if trickling out of Fel's mind. My apologies. I cannot change the nature of a man. You can't explain why, but the last sentence sends a crawling sensation through your skull. Nature of a man? What are you talking about? My apologies. I cannot say. The symbols that appear above Fel almost mirror the previous stream. What is this place? This is where I tattoo color and life upon flesh and bone. What lies beyond the curtain, Fel? It is my gallery. Your discarded skins are my canvas. I admire you. I am saddened for you. Saddened for me? Why? The mark of torment lies upon your flesh. Tragedies and loss have built themselves upon it, like stones upon a foundation. You have endured great pain. What do you mean? I admire you because you have never surrendered to the weight of these losses, despite the fact their chains hang on you still. Go on. These losses blanket your life and all of your past ones. You shed lives like a molting serpent. You are exploring the infinite paths of life. Tell me more. Take with you this warning. Each of your lives casts a shadow on existence. You must travel to a place where these shadows have gone mad and regrets have scarred the earth. Is there anything else you can tell me? Do not sign anything. Very well. Do you feel complete? I don't. In fact, ever since I woke up in the mortuary, I feel like something's missing. Something inside. You are strong. Keep faith. You shall become whole again. I had some other questions. You say we've met before, Fel. Do you know how I died? Shadows. Shadows? Many shadows. The three symbols swirl around each other, each leaving a faint black misty trail about them. They take on a ragged edge, like teeth and talons, and multiply. Where there were 3, there is 9. 9 becomes 27 until the room is a swarm of shadows. Many shadows. They streamed from the darkness, swarmed you, then left you to die. Why? I do not know. Can you tell me anything about the tattoos on my body? I know them. None are by my hand. Can you tell me about some of them? The ones upon your back were scribed with a careful hand and are directions for a mind that forgets itself. The symbol that lies upon your left shoulder is the mark of torment. I'll keep that in mind. Can I see what tattoos you have? Dear God, this tattoo recognizes your efforts to calm the restless dead of the mausoleum. You may draw upon their gratitude to bless yourself or your companions. Okay. Greater action. Greater health. Greater presence must be charisma and greater enduring. Base hit points usable only by fighters. Interesting. Greater warding. Armor class usable only by fighters. But the point is, all of these tattoos have been painted on skin of us. Okay. I guess at some point we just sheared a little bit off for him to use. Tattoo of bloodletting. Huh. Accuracy, +1 Dak'kon. Tattoo of the skull. For all of Mort's faults, having him as a companion makes you seem more capable, and not so much of a stranger to Sigil's streets. This tattoo reinforces that bond, gives you a +1 to charisma, and when invoked, it also lends you some of Mort's good luck, and his ability to shrug off anything that would otherwise cause him to stop talking, such as paralyzation or stunning. Unfortunately, it also gives the user a penalty for their wisdom, which is not hard to understand, considering how little Mort has to spare. This tattoo can only call upon his luck ability a limited number of times. When the tattoo's power is exhausted, however, the charisma bonus will remain. Well, that's nice. Okay.